I think it's a pretty well-known fact that I spend quite a bit of time on the internet. A good many hours every day devoted to internet research and blog and Twitter. And I do all my reading online. All my news is online. I do watch movies in the morning, and then I transition to the internet in the afternoons and the evenings when I'm at home, if I'm not doing anything else. Anyway, in my ongoing research, I've come across this clip of one of my most favorite bloggers of all time, Jim Karlock, a very rare clip of Jim Karlock. And Jim Karlock, he definitely has some pretty out there ideas, but he really is, from a blogger's point of view, he's one of the most entertaining bloggers on the internet. And unfortunately, he's been banned from, I understand he's been banned from Portland Transport. I'm not sure why, but, you know, I don't know what he did to deserve that. I mean, I don't even get banned forever. I get chastised occasionally, and I've even been suspended from it. But to be banned forever, I don't know how he achieved that. They never explained it to me. Anyway, let's watch Jim Karlock in action.
And then Pascal Steig, perhaps.
I'd like to correct a few mistakes of fact made by previous people who testified this evening. But let me start out with, somebody said this is for the future. Well, why don't you build it in the future when it might be needed? You know, if these dramatic population, this big drove of people suddenly appears out of nowhere. In the meantime, you're going to be running empty trains. Okay, so most of what I'm going to say from here on is based on facts that you will find on debunkingportland.com, which has links back in general to TriMet data, Metro data, federal government data, AAA data, that kind of stuff. So it is credible. Somebody said light rail is safe. Well, actually, light rail kills people at about double the rate of automobiles on a per passenger mile basis. Somebody said we got to build light rail for seniors. Well, light rail sort of has like an average distance between stations such that you might have to walk a half a mile. That's a disabled senior is going to do that instead of drive a car? I don't think so. Brookings Institute did a study. They found that the easiest task for senior citizens is driving. One of the easiest, maybe not the easiest. However, if it turns out they can't drive, there's something currently on the road that's being tested and will appear well within the lifespan of light rail. And that is the driverless car, a car that drives itself. A crippled, disabled, blind person, or a falling down drunk, or a teenager, or a child can get in the car and say, take me so-and-so, such and such a place, and the car will do it. That will continue the 100-year demise of mass transit. I hope all of you realize that mass transit has been in a decline in this country for 100 years. It's even declining in Europe, contrary to what the Portland planners tell you. So we're not running out of oil, by the way. I assume you know that the fracking process has cut the price of natural gas by at least a factor of 3, and they're starting to apply that to oil. Soon the world is going to be awash in oil, and we will not worry about running out of energy. We will not worry about global warming because that is the greatest scientific fraud in history, and it is currently starting to unravel. Oh, back to energy saving with light rail. Obama's latest CAFE standards for cars will make the new cars use less energy than light rail. So much for that alleged advantage of light rail. Now let's touch briefly on cost. When you count the local match dollars, TriMet right now using their number or using federal numbers and TriNet numbers costs 75 cents a passenger mile. The highly inflated AAA number for driving is about 55 cents per vehicle mile. Convert that to passenger mile, you're down around 35 cents. Yeah, I know you don't like to hear the truth. Okay, let's deal with on time, on budget.
You're past 3 minutes.
The east side light rail line was 3 years late and 55% over budget. You can see that in the federal government's Pickerel report. The west side light rail line did a lot better. It's by 1 year late and 100% over budget.
Thank you. To stop at 3 minutes.